Adhir Ranjan Babu.
Chairman, sir, I rise to make a brief intervention in the discourse pertaining to High Court and Supreme Court judges' salaries and conditions of service amendment bill 2021. Sir, as it is appeared that these amendments are not substantive changes to the law, but are instead clarificatory amendments to clearly state when retired judges or their families in the case of judges' death are entitled to additional quantum of pension in accordance with the scales as mentioned under the respective parent acts. In 2009, the parent acts were amended to provide for pension and family pension to retired judges or to the family of judge after his death. Chairman, sir, so it is appeared innocuous. However, the lucid argument made by our esteemed colleague Mr. Pinaki Misra has triggered a great confusion, if not controversy, on this legislative document. Therefore, I think it prudent to suggest our Honorable Law Minister that he should make it a
Facts do not confuse. Facts do not confuse.
little. So minister himself should make it clear so as to diffuse any kind of remaining confusion if it is so. Sir, the motto of our judiciary is Yato Dharmastato Jayate. Where there is righteousness, there is victory. Since 28 January 1950, the Odyssey of Supreme Court was set up, and still the caravan has been going on, which ensures the justice of our country, even if deficiencies, lacunas are also observed. That is a different kettle of fish. However, we all believe that our Constitution itself is the supreme law of our country. Our Constitution consists of regulatory law, common law, statutory law, and not only that, the system basically based upon, to a larger extent, an adversarial system, whereby a neutral judge would offer his judgment after the deliberation by both the parties. So this kind of institution we have in place. I would like to know from the Honorable Minister whether can we not explore an institutional mechanism to have a permanent pay matrix insofar as the salaries and other issues are concerned with the judicial system. Because the bedrock of our country's democracy is the rule of law, and that means we have to have an independent judiciary. Judges who can make decisions independent of the political winds that are blowing. I quote it from Caroline Kennedy. Chairman, sir, I am goaded only to plead for our subordinate infrastructure, subordinate judiciary. Because being a people representative from an aspirational district, I have been witnessing during my political career the trials and tribulations being confronted by the poor and marginalized people of my district and of my state. Even the Chief Justice of India, Mr. Ramanna, I quote him,
Mr.
that
Chaudhary,
judicial...
just a moment. The time was extended up to 8 o'clock. And I believe Mr. Chaudhary is going to speak for another 5 minutes.
Okay, sir.
But if the House agrees, let us extend this time till Mr. Chaudhary completes his speech. Thank you.
I would simply highlight 2-3 issues before concluding my speech. Number one, there is a perception has been growing up in the country that judiciary also has been infected by corruption. We cannot defy the perception. Even in the year 2011, this parliament has impeached Judge Soumitra Sen for some sorts of corruption cases.
Misdemeanor.
So,
Misdemeanor.
Misdemeanor. Sir, so far as corruption in judiciary is concerned, there must be some system of accountability, because the media also do not give a clear picture on account of the fear of contempt. There is no provision, I do not know whether any provision is in existence, for registering an FIR against a judge taking bribes without taking the permission of the Chief Justice of India. I do not have any idea. Minister may clarify. Second, everybody has expressed their apprehension and concern in regard to the huge pendency of cases. Virtually, the country has been sitting on the pendency bomb. The victims are the ordinary and poor people, while the rich can afford expensive lawyers like Pinaki Mishra and change the course of dispensation of the law in their favor. The poor cannot. This also creates a big blockade for international investors also. Second, lack of transparency. I do not know how much accessibility common people can enjoy through the instrument of Right to Information Act in the justice system of our country. I do not have the elaborate idea of it, but I think Right to Information Act should be given due priority in our judicial system also, so that the common people can have the document functioning in regard to the functioning of the judiciary, the substantial issues like the quality of justice and accountability, etc., etc. Hardship of the under trials are well-known fact for all of us, because most of the MPs are hailing from the countryside of what? From the countryside. See, I personally have a bitter experience in regard to the under trial prisoners of our country. In my state, West Bengal, hundreds of poor, hundreds of common men, hundreds of innocent people are being lodged in the jail on the fabricated charges. And they have been languishing for years together inside the jail because they have been implicated on such a case which is unbailable, such as NDPS cases. Number of NDPS cases are a slab against those innocent political workers. Their only offense that they belong to the opposition party, much to the disapproval of the ruling dispensation. So, Rijuji, how can we get rid of this kind of situation? Because judicial system, I do not know whether any mechanism does have in the judicial system which can provide any kind of succor to those poor innocent victims of our country. Again, I would like to draw the attention of the House and Honorable Minister also, that still judiciary has been inheriting the colonial hangover of the British imperialists. The reason being, still they live in a secretive society. They do not have any direct interaction with the mainstream society of our country. So naturally, we do not have any idea about them. They also do not have any idea about us. So more and more interaction of the judiciary with the mainstream society certainly will give a little fillip and impetus of the judicial system, because they can have the idea about the nitty-gritty of the existing societies also. Sir, even the
I think you are,
even
could conclude now.
yes, sir. Sir, I have got 2-3 points very briefly. I just narrate it here. 2-3 points only, sir. Just a minute. 2-3 points I have it. Sir, actually, sometimes I came to learn from our friends from legal fields, those who are lawyers, leaders, etc., etc. And used to ask them what are the deficiencies being suffered by our judicial system. They have drawn my attention on 3-4 points that I think should be expounded here. Number one, infrastructure is pathetic. We do not get proper court or chamber or even a good chair. Courts do not have air conditions, no room to store even records. This is the state of judicial system, especially at the subordinate level. This needs to be corrected. Use of technology is at a minimum level. They do not have even high-speed internet to upload daily data. The system needs to be revisited and revitalized. Even in the COVID situation, when hybrid mechanism was explored, I do not know whether it has been succeeded or not, but number of courts have tried a hybrid mechanism, half physically, half virtually. Shortage of judges and court staff causing huge pendency. Scope of innovation also is very little. No one is taking care for new research in judiciary at district level. Salary is not at par with 7th pay commission. Even the trial court judge nowadays are being scared and afraid of their security. One incident took place in the Jharkhand also. So security of trial court judges also need to be beefed up, and transparency in policy for transparent posting is urgently required. I am simply referring a few observations made by one judge of our country, Chief Justice Sarad B. Bobde had made it clear to the states and union territories that recommendation made by the Second National Judicial Pay Commission to nearly triple the pay and allowances for subordinate judiciary should be implemented proactively. The Supreme Court highlighted in its February 28, 2020 order that a financially self-sufficient subordinate judiciary was pivotal for the existence of an independent judiciary. Self-reliance is the foundation of independence. The society has a stake in ensuring the independence of the judiciary, and no price is too heavy to secure it, to keep the judges in want of essential accoutrements and thus to impede them in the proper discharge of their duties is to impair and whittle away justice itself.
Thank you.
Therefore,
Thank you.
I would like to draw the attention of the Honorable Minister that in its review verdict 1993, Supreme Court made an observation that judicial service is not a service in the sense of employment and judges are not employees. Therefore, I would like to
Thank you.
ask our Honorable Law Minister, for whom I am also proud of, because now the chair being held by him was once possessed by first lawyer of independent India, Baba Saheb Ambedkar ji. That is why I am proud of my colleague, Mr. Kiran Rijiju ji, and will expect more elaboration from his reply. Thank you.